Hello everyone, I hope all you're doing well. Today we're going to talk about a very important topic that concerns teachers and learners as well. Before talking about this topic, let's try to give a little introduction to me. So who am I? I am Chaima Bouitna. I am a recent graduate specialized in didactics, English didactics, and I'm also a teacher of English at the Blida University. So as I said before, today I came here with a very interesting topic that concerns educationalists in general. Anyone who specializes in didactics, they may find this topic as an interesting one. So the chosen topic of today is CBA. So now probably ask yourselves what I mean by CBA. CBA means that competency-based approach, which is an acronym, which is also considered as approach, has been followed up by Algerian education system since 2005, and it's still on. We can say that this approach has been adopted by Algerian program, in textbook. So what is CBA? So it here, if you look at the slides here, it addresses what learners are expected to do with the language. It is based on the notion educational goals should be precisely defined and measured by the end of the course. So any lesson, you have a textbook, and we have a unit, and we have syllabus, in every unit we have lessons, and each lesson it is supposed to convey a certain message or certain goals, objectives. So it started up with introduction. So teacher tell learners are expected to have this lesson in a condition they achieve certain goals. So the goals I'm referring to here are the things, or can say the fruit, that this lesson are providing. For example, if learners are supposed to deal with for example passive tense or present or future tense, for example, let's just decide on one. For example, present tense. So teacher is supposed to give a lesson that's rolling about this present tense, for example, give them text or give them examples. So learners at the end, they should know what is a present tense and what are the situations that we need to use as present tense. So they can give by their own examples, they can even create situations where they can use present tense. So this is the objective of the course. Alright? So this motto, like educational goals, they need to be defined first. Teacher need to tell learners what they are expected to face and what are the outcomes they need to have at the end, and also they need to be measured. Through performance of learners, we can tell whether the lesson are going smoothly, otherwise there is a problem with display of the lesson, or maybe this is only a matter of a time before learners get to this conclusion. So now let's go to a different point, which are the approaches of CBA. So what I mean by approaches, so when I say approaches, here we're talking about theories. Here we have two kinds of theories. We have theory of language first, second, theory of learning. So in any textbook or anything around, there's a theory. So from this theory, we take what we need and we adapt it as a notion, as something like we need to follow it up with. So concerning theory of language, functional theory of language, how to make your language functional, pragmatic. So this is beyond linguistic competence. So language here, it is not mainly concerns how to achieve grammar, how to memorize vocabulary, how to do good pronunciation of words. CBA has gone beyond this. It is now basically about how to make your language functional in a real life situation. So this is the first theory. Second theory was still in theory of language. It is social and communicative theory of language. How to make your life more functional, and that's by to know how to speak this language in society, how to make it fit anytime, anywhere. So we are a part of society, and we need to know how to speak a language that fits our society. And communicative, yes, you're supposed to have communication with others, so you know at least how to initiate a small talk, how to negotiate, how to ask, how to answer these kind of situations that require knowledge about real life. And now from then you can tell how to make this kind of communication. Now we're going to go to second theory, which is theory of learning. Okay, so through learning, we need to make sure that our theory is here. Behaviorism. Okay, so I think the secret of learning is repetition. Repetition, drills, teachers say something and learners are expected to say it over and over again. So the storing of this knowledge or any words will be maintained. Okay, the more you repeat, the more your memory serve these words or this information. Okay, so focuses on reinforcement, okay, of behaviors and performances rather than thinking skills. So learners are in a situation where they repeat things, and whenever they feel like this situation happened, okay, they just get alerted and they know what to do, okay, because you already seen this situation. Okay, we cannot accept learners to go beyond what haven't been seen in the classroom. Okay, so probably this is why I make it limited to critical thinking. So critical is not here. They just act what they have learned in a classroom. Okay, so if you learn how to act in this situation, later on when you see the situation, you know how to act. Okay, so this is concerning the theory of learning. Now we're going to go a different point, which is objective of CBA, which answer to our question, why CBA? Why this approach? First, develop learners' competencies for effective performance of a real-life task. So learners will develop competencies, okay, so that they know how to perform. Okay, you have to know that performance comes as a result to competence. Okay, if you don't have competence, you don't know how to perform. Okay, so you can say performance is considered as a fruit to competence. The more you develop your competencies, the more or effective your performance is. Okay, so here the task given here is a real life task, which is different now. So real life task means real life situation. For example, have to reserve a table in a restaurant. This is a real life task. How to answer a call. Okay, how to negotiate, for example, selling something or buying something. How to negotiate with a buyer or with a seller. Okay, this is the kind of situation I'm referring to here. Second, learners are able to be independent, yes, to cope with demands of work. So this is something very, very important. So we can say that CBA is trying to recruit our learners to be independent, okay, to cope with the demands of a real life, okay. So now they don't need a teacher, they don't need a parents, they don't need anyone in order to survive in outside world. They get the language, they know how they act. So this is, we can say, the real purpose of CBA, how to manage by your own. No teacher, no any other knowledgeable author here, just you alone. Okay, let's go to different point. Assessment of CBA, how teachers assess, inside their classroom. Okay, we have two types of assessment here. We have norm-based criteria, and we also have criterion-based criteria. So let's go with the first one. We have norm-based criteria. Here, using marks for assessing knowledge. So usually this is very known by teachers, how they feel like marks are best way to reflect this knowledge. Okay, you give them a test and give them marks in accordance to performance of learners. Second thing, here we have criterion-based criteria, evaluation of learners' performance for assessing skills and behaviors. So you can see the difference here. It is like having an exam as a first. The second one is like having, for example, ingoing assessment, all right, behaviors, how learners act inside the classroom. But for exams, it is something like very objective type of assessment. The second one can say subjective type of assessment. Okay, let's go with the last point, which is criticism of CBA. Anything in life has a criticism. Okay, Okay, even CBA considered as a reaction to previous approaches. We cannot deny the fact that it has no criticism. Okay, so criticism is actually something that shows us that everything is imperfect. Nothing is perfect in life. Okay, whatever we do, we always gonna receive critics. And that is why here we have criticism. So here I brought to you two criticisms to CBA. First, there is focus on behavior and performances more than development of critical thinking and skills. So I told you before that repetition is very important, how to reinforce behaviors, how to make learners active. But in the end of the day, when you try to look deep down at this point, you feel like learners are not developing any critical thinking. So learners basically here, they like a parrot. Okay, they say things that already said to them. Okay, they don't believe any how mind is functioning. They just act in accordance with what they have been taught to them. But what about their inner thinking? So this is also considered as criticism here. Second, it is maintain a class relationship. Passive citizens. You can say this criticism is also a part of the first criticism. Okay, it is a class relationship. Although the tasks are given are based on real life situations. Yes, how to reserve a table, how to talk to people. But at the end of the day, those tasks, you can say they are maintained here. They just imagine the situation inside a classroom. They don't go outside. Okay, they just still in the classroom. Probably the kind of situation they face are perfect, predictable. They ask questions and they give answers that are perfect. Okay, they already planned, designed. But the real life situation is not that beautiful word, okay, that planned, designed word. There are things can go beyond what is expected, okay, which is something learners, they might not know about because they're still young. But when they get themselves unleashed outside, they will see how things actually work. So if learners just keep inside a classroom and deal with things that are predictable, expected, there will be no high chance for them to survive in a real life situation. So this is a really serious criticism to be given to CBA. Okay, so I think this is all for this video. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.